College football's regular season has wrapped up in dramatic fashion, and the stage is now set for some epic conference championship showdowns. But here's the real kicker. These games aren't just about bragging rights. They're about solidifying college football playoff, CFP, hopes, and for some teams, it's their last shot at glory. Buckle up, because we're diving deep into the matchups that will define the postseason. ACC. Duke's unexpected shot at glory. The Atlantic Coast Conference, ACC, saw a roller coaster of a final week. Virginia secured their spot in the championship game with a decisive victory over Virginia Tech. https://apnews.com/article/Virginia-Tech-score-D34CCD for EB67096A7 of 99BB0291006EF1A. But the real surprise came when SMU, with a clear path to the title game, stumbled against Cal. https://apnews.com/article/SMU-California-score-B9 Fed 9858737D5226CA2014274B3. Talk about a game changer. Their loss paved the way for Duke to sneak into the championship. So get this, Duke, with 5 losses already on their record, will now face Virginia and Charlotte for the ACC crown. And this is the part most people miss. Even if Duke pulls off an improbable win, their CFP chances are slim. A conference champion with 5 losses? It's a tough sell to the selection committee. This could potentially open the door for a group of 5 conference champion to snag a coveted playoff spot. But here's where it gets controversial. Should a team with so many losses really be considered for the CFP, even if they win their conference? SEC. A rematch for the ages. In the Southeastern Conference, SEC, the Iron Bowl lived up to its name. Alabama battled their way to a victory over Auburn. https://apnews.com/article/Alabama-Auburn-score-30D20F19DB759D5D717D9D00B737D22, securing their spot in the SEC championship game. Their opponent? None other than the Georgia Bulldogs, who solidified their own position with a win against Georgia Tech. https://apnews.com/article/Atlanta-B08876Ed47011ECEBC76D8A35Fe76. Get ready for a heavyweight clash. This will be Kirby Smart's 4th time facing Alabama in the SEC title game, and the stakes couldn't be higher. Georgia is riding an 8-game win streak since their only loss of the season to Alabama. https://apnews.com/article/Alabama-Georgia-score-8389BA68A7A0F42874CB293, 4B74411103. On September 27th. Can they avenge that defeat and cement their playoff hopes? Or will Alabama once again prove to be their kryptonite? This game is guaranteed to be a nail-biter. Big Ten. Ohio State versus Indiana. A David and Goliath story? The Big Ten Conference saw Ohio State complete a perfect 12-0 regular season with a statement win over Michigan. https://apnews.com/article/Ohio-State-Michigan-score-3EBCAA45875FA685CB8930616BADF. The Buckeyes are heading to the Big Ten championship game, where they'll face an undefeated Indiana team. Indiana is aiming for their first conference crown since way back in 1967. They're heading into the title game boasting the nation's second-best scoring offense and scoring defense, and their quarterback, Fernando Mendoza, is even in the Heisman Trophy conversation. Can they pull off the upset and shock the college football world? Big 12. Rematch in Arlington. Out in the Big 12, we've got a rematch brewing. Texas Tech and BYU are set to face off again, this time in Arlington, Texas, for the conference championship. Remember their earlier meeting on November 8th? Texas Tech dominated, winning 29-7. https://apnews.com/article/BYU-Texas-Tech-score-8145288A1151970C8319F29A254. Can BYU turn the tables this time, or will the Red Raiders repeat their performance? Conference Championship Game Lineup Snapshot. Here's a quick rundown of some of the other Conference Championship games to watch. American Athletic Conference, AAC number 21 North Texas vs number 22 Tulane. Conference USA, Jacksonville State vs Kennesaw State. Mid-American Conference, MAC Western Michigan vs Miami, Ohio. Mountain West Conference, TBD tiebreaker scenarios in play. https://themw.com/2025-football-tiebreaker-scenarios. Sunbelt Conference. Number 20 James Madison vs Troy. CFP implications. Who's in, who's out, and who's on the bubble? With the conference championships looming, the college football playoff picture is getting clearer, but some questions remain. Ohio State, Indiana, and Oregon seem like strong contenders for playoff spots. But what about teams like Texas A&M, Georgia, Ole Miss, and Oklahoma, who were all ranked in the CFP top 10 heading into the final week? And what about Texas? They have some impressive wins, but also some tough losses. Should their head-to-head victory over Oklahoma outweigh their blowout loss to Georgia? And this is where the debate truly begins. How much should the selection committee weigh regular season losses versus conference championships? Should a team with a weaker strength of schedule get the nod over a team that played a tougher schedule, even if they have more losses? These are the questions that will be debated endlessly in the coming days. What do you think? Which teams deserve a spot in the college football playoff, and why? Share your thoughts in the comments below.